If there's one thing I've learned about getting lean over the years, is that it's kind of like the stock market. You have to break these habits. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Instead of hoarding your money, you take that money, you put it in the S&P 500, and you let it accumulate. You continue to invest in it, and it builds up, and it builds up. And over time, you start to realize, oh my gosh, this thing is growing rapidly now. All this compound interest taking place, all this growth occurring, and now all of a sudden that money is starting to work for you just by having that sum in there. It starts to generate money on its own for you, and you realize, wow, this is a lot easier to maintain than it is to actually get here in the first place. And I notice the same goes for getting lean. It takes way more out of you to actually do something about it and actually get to that point of being lean until you actually can maintain that. As you start to lean out, you have to break these habits. You have to become a new person. You have an identity shift. You have to realize, hey, this way of living was not serving me previously. This way of acting was not serving me previously. I didn't enjoy how I looked. I don't enjoy how I feel. I want to have energy. I want to be able to do more things. I want to be able to be productive at work and actually do a good job, feel some sort of purpose behind it. And what happens with this is as you start to lean out, you start to notice your standards just keep raising. You're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to take that drink. I don't think I'm going to eat those foods right now. Dang, I feel exhausted. I had a really long day at work. I think I'm just going to hit the gym anyway because I need to start doing that. And what you'll notice is as these habits accumulate, it starts to become a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And then you start to lean out. And then you realize, oh my gosh, all of a sudden when you're actually lean, you think, wow, I never really needed any of this stuff in the first place. And it's fortunate because you want to hold yourself to a high standard to where most people around you might look at you weird, might not understand it. And there's a reason that you're going to be lean and the rest of the people aren't. Okay. So what comes with this is that as your standards raise, you realize that you start to compare yourself now to your former self. And through that, you see, dang, I really don't want to be in those shoes again. I want to keep elevated. I want to continue to progress. I want to continue to feel good. Being lean, having energy, these things feel great right now. And I do not want to go back to being the fat slob that I was maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, whenever you were not lean. With this, when you are first starting off, you realize you have to break all the bad habits. It is so much harder to break a bad habit than it is to maintain a good one. So by breaking all these habits, by separating yourself from your old actions, you realize you have to then replace them with new actions. Instead of having this donut, donuts are my personal weakness. Instead of having this donut, I am going to eat this salad. Yeah, is one better than the other? Yes, definitely. Does one taste better than the other? Maybe sometimes, yeah. But you start to realize that as your gut continues to get used to this, you notice your stomach doesn't hurt as much anymore. You live day-to-day life. So many people, so many of my clients live day-to-day life. They never realize how screwed up their stomach was and how little energy they actually had. People ask me all the time, dude, how do you have so much energy? Like, how are you able to uphold this with every single client you're talking to, every single meeting you're having, every single conversation that you're having with these people in this coffee shop? Well, yeah, it's simple. I have enough energy. I have the muscle. I have the health. I have everything I need in order to allow me to do that. And that's the difference that a lot of people don't realize, that when you do get lean, you not only have your standards raised, but you also just have more that you can do. And when you realize you have more that you can do, you uphold the standards on those as well. So replacing the bad habits with the good habits is a lot easier once you start to break those bad habits. You want to start taking away from those bad habits at first. Maybe instead of drinking 3 times a week, you drink once a week, maybe twice a week to start off. And you ease your way out of it. Instead of having 8 drinks that night, you're going to have 6 drinks that night. It's little baby steps that happen first. And by taking away those bad habits, you have such a better chance of actually quitting them, or at least minimizing them, to then replace them with good habits. It's funny, one of my clients, he's actually on his cut right now. He's leaning out right now, and he hasn't had fast food in a while. And so we were planning around it. I said, yeah, go out, have some fun, eat this food. And so he did. And he came to me the next day saying, dang, like my stomach kind of hurts from this. Like I actually didn't like that. It didn't taste as good as I remembered, and I definitely didn't feel as good from what I remembered afterward. Sent me straight to the restroom. And I told him, I was like, good. I'm actually glad that happened. And he's like, what? Like, how is my stomach hurting a good thing? And what most people don't realize with that is that when you are eating these unhealthy foods every single day, it's just part of your habits, it's part of your nature. You just think, oh yeah, this is normal. Yeah, I am supposed to use the restroom 4 times a day and my stomach's supposed to hurt. And that, yeah, I'm just bloated and I feel like trash, but that's just how it is, right? No, not at all. You realize that as you continue to stay away from those trash foods, that junk food, the fast food crap, you realize, oh my gosh, I actually feel good. Like my stomach actually feels good. And every time you indulge in something that is unhealthy, like those trash foods, you realize, oh my gosh, I feel so much better than what I did previously. And as you start to indulge in all those fast foods, you realize, oh my gosh, like this is actually terrible. I don't even crave these things anymore. And now it's literally just twisting my stomach when I come back to it. And that's a good thing because that means your gut health has actually been healing. You've been restored. You have all these good things going for you, and your body is literally trying to tell you, hey, cut it out, stop it. Like you do not need any of that anymore. So when it comes to getting lean, another big thing too is that a lot of my former athletes, like a lot of my old clients, they'll say, yeah, I played sports in college, I played sports in high school, I was pretty active like in my 20s or 30s, but I kind of fell off after a few decades. Cool, not a problem. What they notice is that they get leaner faster, they get leaner stronger because their body was previously in a state of athleticism or having some sort of muscle on them or just not having a whole lot of fat on them. It is easier for them to get back to that. But if your starting point is completely fresh and maybe you've always been overweight, it is way tougher to do that. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you get to that point of leanness, it is so much easier to maintain because you literally can just you're pretty much doing less than what you did to get there. One, you don't have to deal with all the stress and the hardship of breaking the habits, becoming a new person, and inventing that new identity, that new person that you're trying to become. You don't have to go through all that stress again and all that transformation again. You more so just have to maintain what you've kind of already been doing. Your standards are already raised. You have a higher discipline. You're avoiding certain foods. You're hitting your workouts when you're tired. You're more productive at work. You have more energy for your kids and your family and for your social events. And you realize that, yeah, my standards are higher. I can actually do all this now, and I want to do all this now. I don't necessarily feel like a slob or feel lazy or want to come home and just lay on the couch all day and not do anything else. So you experience this whole identity change. And when you experience that identity change, you realize that, wow, I really don't want to be like how I used to be. I do not want to be that old person that I was maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whenever you might have been overweight or obese. And what I'll notice with my athletes especially is that muscle memory kicks in a lot faster. They start to see that progress a lot faster, a lot sooner. And then they realize like, wow, I remember how this feels. I like this feeling. It's sort of like a high. Like you're almost like getting high off of this, where it's like, wow, this feels good. This feeling of progression feels great. One of my clients this morning, his name's Angel, 70-year-old guy. He said when he was younger, he used to smoke pot. And he said, yeah, smoking pot's one thing. Like, obviously what it feels like to get high. And then after I work out, when I complete these workouts, I walk out of the gym, I feel good. I feel like I'm healthy. I feel like I can move. It does something to your spirit that uplifts you. Because it's not just the physical side of things. The huge part is the mental part as well. And that's actually the hardest part for most people to get into, is mentally changing first so that physical change can then follow up there afterward. But once you get lean one time, it's so much easier to do what you've been doing because standards are already there. You can honestly even sometimes do slightly less and still maintain what you have. You have the muscle on you and you have the fat off of you. So now you realize, yeah, I can't go back into those same habits that I was doing previously. I can't go back to that same routine, that same rhythm, and I need to uphold what I have right now. So if you are looking to get lean for the last time, there's a one-on-one coaching application in my bio down below. Feel free to fill that out. Let me in on what you're experiencing, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, and what your challenges are. I'll reach out to you. I'll see if I can help you. We'll go from there. Okay. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.